there, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all at 11 to 20 minutes with David Styles, where soul meets fashion. And I hope you are very aware of this today's topic. And today, this gonna be an interesting one. So I just hope you would be loving it, and this would be something very deeper that we're gonna dive in on it. Okay, so let's proceed ahead and know what's in there. And so first half would be we would be knowing the information, the few of the features, some kind of the information that you could take away, and concluding today's video. At conclusion, we would be also taking away, and from us we would be sharing six to seven points that you can take away as a practical ground that you would be able to practice that in your life. So that, and I assure you one thing, that this is one of the simplest thing that you would come across. Give it a practical try in your life and see how your the moments changes. There is a change in your versions. There is a whole new human that you become from your own imperfect human. Okay, and that is, you can copy someone else's habitat to build your own survival net. You will have to choose their habitat or your survival, your growth, your existence. That makes you unique, and that is, you have to choose their habitat or your survival or your uniqueness. Okay, otherwise someone else will guide to their living habitat, which won't stand longer. Because after all, a common ground that makes us similar is being humans. Yet, one vast difference that stretches apart in between is we are still unique as an individuals, right? And there's nothing necessary always to be making sense to fit in someone else. Create your own story, study each phases, your situations, your healing, learning, growth, and stay obsessed with your own. And hashtag embrace your uniqueness. So this is the first phase that we were talking about in the introduction video, and why this is. So let me just tell you the behind the thought of this whole was, while I was just scrolling over the social media, I believe that was maybe the Pinterest or the Instagram or maybe the Facebook. There was some of the one of the social media platform that I saw that there were a lot of kind of an ad. A wallpaper or an ad that it was you could say as a content, a poster that was there as a marketing strategy, that it was written over there that how can you be ahead of 99% out there, or how you can be better than rest of the world, or how you can be better than the rest of the people out there in the whole world. So I was just pondering over that, why is it that you need to be comparing to the other people or other deep thought? I was just wondering of that, why it should be that people are guiding you towards how to become a better person than the 99% of the people or the rest of the people out there. Why is it not that we can become a better versions or better person of our own self? How we cannot change our own self rather than becoming a better version of the other people out there or the rest of the world out there? Why we can be a better version of who we are, right? So there's just a perspective difference. There is just a perspective difference. So I was just pondering over, rather than looking ahead what's there in the whole world out there, I believe if as an individual, if every person perceives their own self, rather than seeking out how many people are there, or how many categories of people fall into millionaires or billionaires, or how many people fall into middle classes, or how many categories of people or population are there in the poor section of the society. Why are we just giving a proportional or categorizing the people into one different categorizations, and then we are offering the people that how can you be better than the other people out there? Why is it? Why cannot we just be a better version of our own selves? Why can't we just focus on to the better, on to the best perspective of our own life? Why can't we imagine our own self in our future own self? Because when we change our perspective, and while I was just looking forward to all these ads that were shown over in the social media, there's nothing judgment against those. It was just a kind of a perspective that I'm sharing over, and it was just, there is I know that we are, means, there are millions and billions of people over here, and that is possible. There is a lot of possibility that we can have a different personalities, we can have our own ideas, we can have our own perception, but perception often plays two different roles. You could be comparing yourself to the others and playing an important role of the other's life, or you could be yourself discovering your own self, who the most valuable hidden gem you are, and how can you be just better, how you can be just chasing to the dreams, to the passions, to the versions that you have still in there, sitting there inside, hidden in there, that still have to come over. Is that in our whole body, there is one of the important part, or one of the organ that plays a vital role, that is our brain. Why is it? Because whatever we think, that is in our actions. If we think about something positive, that will be in our action. With our second phase, okay, without stretching more. Okay, so now over here we would be now interacting and exchanging the points that we can take away from this today's video. Okay, and that is, first is that we all are humans, okay, which that makes us similar but not identical. So here, if you want to change something out there, you have to seek some things in you or all of you. And the question that you can ask yourself is, first, who am I? Who am I? Just ask this question, okay? And even if you don't get the answer, just give yourself a time to spend half an hour at least. You will be surprised that you would be able to answer your own question. And if not, you'll be able to explore more ahead, okay? So the first question goes is, who am I? Okay? The second is, what do I feel? What do I seek? What am I seeking over? What am I searching? Okay? And what do I need? What do I need? Okay? So there is a big difference between when you say what I want and what I need. There's a difference. What I want is, when you seek for the things that you want, the want list would be endless. That is infinite. You could be wanting everything that is there in the society, that is there in the whole world out there. Okay? But when it comes to need, when you are seeking for the need, that is the most priority thing, that is priority to you. Okay? So that is need. That is very vital, important thing in your life. Okay? That is the question number 2. And then question number 3 is, what are your priorities? Okay? Go ahead and know what are your priorities. What do you want? When you seek for your priorities, these will be the important points that you could, just mark on. That is, what do you feel, what do you seek, and what do you need. And let's go ahead with our second. That is, or else, if you want to grow, if you think that you want to grow to something, you get to know very much, you get very much familiar that you get very much familiar to the environments, what is there draining you out, and what is there pushing you towards the next level, to the better version of you. Okay, so that is why it is. Or else, if you want to grow, you must have seen numerous platforms stating as how you can be better than 99%, or how you can move ahead or scale or influence others, etc., and many more alike. But the foundation remains still mysterious. And the foundation is, and when you want to create anything like anything, the main objective and focus goes over is the foundation, the root cause, and that is replace that influence word, replace influence with impact. Okay? Replace influence with impact. Second, comparing with building your own self. So rather than just comparison, build your own self. And the third is overlooking with confidence on the transforming your versions. Okay, so I'll just discuss in a shorter what is influence and impact. I just believe that there might be something confusing that could create a chaos over here. So I'll just clear the difference between influence and impact, and I'll just create a broader video on the same ones. And so let me just give you a shorter while over here. That is, influence is always that you get attracted towards for a shorter period of time because of its, it could be any color, it could be something, a shade, it could be design. So something that is on a peripheral level that you get attracted towards something in a glance. Okay, that is influence. But impact is something that changes you from inside, something that feeds you in you to be some version, to be a better version, to be someone out there, where it creates a change in your heart. So that is impact. Okay, so if you want it. Okay, so let's go ahead with the third point, and that is, and second last is always knowing what's there to learn about, fueling your infinite knowledge and growth. Just go ahead learning more and more, because knowledge is something that is not finite, it is infinite. You can learn. There are so many streams, there are so many occupations, or even if you don't just have the interest in going or working into the specific particular industry, it doesn't matter. But to have a knowledge on every aspect is one of the plus point that you can take away. Okay, that makes you a better person of your own self. Okay, and the fourth point is, lastly, noticing. So one thing that I do admire of the past days that I remember is noticing. You should be a person as well who notices your situations, your moments, your days, your feeling, how you felt, your days, how it went, how did you spend that day. So just keep noticing.